What pleased you most about the win, John?
The win, being in front, get 4 points. A lot of good stuff out of the game. Geelong were up and going early. They've worked really hard on their starts. They threw everything into the game early. We weathered it to a degree. We didn't really. They were on top early. There's no doubt about that. They probably played better footy in the first quarter, but over the next 3 quarters, I think it took us a long time to wear them down. But I think we were on top marginally over the big period of the game.
What was the key to getting on top, John, after quarter time? Was it lifting the contested possessions and things, and just general work rate stuff?
The work rate we talked about at quarter time wasn't too bad, but we could be smarter with the way we were playing and looking at what Geelong were doing. And a couple of things that we asked players to do, they did extremely well.
The efforts of Cox and Nat, not only in the ruck but around the ground, how did you view their performances?
It's always hard to judge things straight after a game, how guys have performed. I look at, I thought the team performed really well. Those guys, Coxie's a senior leader at this footy club, has been for a long time, and he's a champion player, so we don't get surprised by what he does. And, Nick's still developing, and he's learning from one of the best, which is bonus for us.
To get 5 goals out of them, how important is that to a forward line that is still missing Josh Kennedy?
Yeah, well, they've kicked a fair few goals this year, those two boys. They've really played their role up in not only kicking goals when they're forward, but out of the ruck as well.
Darren, do you ever get surprised by, I know, marvel at some of the stuff that Nick Nat does, and John mentioned Cox is a leader, but Nick Nat almost seems to take another step as a leader too.
I think he's improving as a leader all the time, and when he plays aggressive like that and attacks the ball in the air, I think he plays really well, and when those two play well together, it makes it pretty hard for the opposition.
Can we just get your view on the deliberate out of bounds? Are you left a bit confused after a match like tonight?
Didn't really notice it, to be honest. So, there was one I was involved in, but the umpires make those calls, and that's up to them.
There was one where Eric McKenzie was just buggered off his feet, and he fell to the ground. The ball tumbled out, and he was pinned for that.
Yeah, it didn't. We had a lot to focus on as players. Often you're watching your player and scanning the ground for different things. So, it's hard for me to comment on the umpiring.
Being a defender, though, you're hoping they don't go too hard on it, because obviously you guys need the boundary line at times.
Yeah, as long as they're consistent, it doesn't really matter.
John, obviously after a tough month, did you see anything in your side tonight which gives you confidence you could match Collingwood and Hawthorn in the last 2 weeks?
Yep.
Can you elaborate a bit on
what? I'm not sure what number win that was for us for this year, but we know what the boys are capable of, and we've got a program in place to finish the season off really strongly. So that's our aim. So regardless, the last 3 of the last 4 weeks, we're below what we'd like, but we believe we can play like we did tonight more consistently.
You feel like top 4 is still achievable?
I don't know. I'm not sure, but our aim is to win our games, and then I might check it out after the last game.
Structurally, with the clearances, did a lot change tonight from your planning and what you?
Yeah, we changed a couple of things tonight and did a few things differently. We've still got work to do in that area. We still can get better, so challenge ourselves on that.
I feel like the changes worked though, and it's a path to continue down.
Yeah, we learnt stuff from tonight's game for sure that we'll either continue to build on and adjust where we need to.
Darren, can you just talk about that last 8 seconds? I counted 20 players in the Geelong's 50 for the final bounce. Did you play a main part in sort of getting some extra bodies down there, or can you just sort of explain it from your point of view and the communication that goes on at a time like that?
Yeah, the main focus is to stop them scoring, obviously. So
it's as many as you can get down there.
Yeah, people help. Extra people help. Yep.
Pretty handy time for Nick to win a clearance. And
it was, yeah. So he's, that's part of what makes Nick such a great player, his ability to follow the ball up, and he did that at a crucial time, and it was great for us.
Did you cop a bit of a knock to the leg early in the game? You seemed to be came off the tree.
Copped a few knocks. I can't.
Probably at some stage. You limping quite heavily for about 4 or 5 minutes afterwards.
Yeah, no, I pulled it very well.
Yeah. Wish any other injuries?
No, all clear.
Yep. Just on the Tom Hawkins, you were in that contest, were you? I think it was
I was at the front of the contest, yeah, but you know, it wasn't pretty to see. He was obviously out cold and looked out cold for a long time. So, you know, it's never a pretty part of footy.
One of the worst sort of concussions in that sort of incident you've seen in your career?
Yeah, look, I didn't spend a lot of time kind of looking at it, but it didn't look very good at all, no. So hopefully he recovers pretty quick.
Steve Johnson had a great first half, John. Did you change anything with your approach to him after half-time?
In general, we changed a couple of things around what was happening. So, you know, Shuey was getting a little bit of ball in the first half. Johnson was getting probably too much, and we adjusted a couple of things around their roles.
And how about Scott Selwood's job on his brother for a lot of the night? How did you mark that?
Yeah, I asked the other coaches after the game just then what impact Joel had on the game, and they said Scooter did a great job. So that's the feedback.
Aaron, do you still feel you're pretty important to the defence, given last week, obviously Pavlich had a big game, but the defence seemed to struggle a little bit without you?
I think last week was just, you know, we were disappointing across the board, you know, our effort and intensity. So when you get that kind of lack of effort from the majority of players, you know, it doesn't really matter who's playing. So I thought tonight, you know, we took a step forward and we had lots of contributors and lots of guys playing with the intensity that we know they can.
John, what did you make of the clash on the wing between the two Selwood brothers?
Yeah, I didn't see it at all. So I've got no idea about it because I didn't even know it had happened.
What's that like out in the field, Darren? Much gets said between those three, or?
No, mate, I play down at full back, so I kind of miss it all. But I'm not too sure what happened up there. But the boys are talking about it after, but I'm not sure what happened, to be honest.
Joel Curran pushed Adam over when he looked to be in a bit of trouble. All's fair in love and war between brothers, I guess.
Different rules between brothers. Yeah, that's right. That goes outside the match review panel or tribunal. You just call it brothers' rules.